The other day, something got me thinking. Someone on Instagram said something about being cynical. And I think I used to be a lot more cynical, but thinking about how would I characterize myself now? And I realized I think I'm an optimistic skeptic. And I think both of those can be attributed to Buddhism, although roots may be earlier back. As far as being optimistic, I'm definitely optimistic because of Buddhism, and that might sound weird if you look at the first noble truth, life is suffering, seems to be kind of a pessimistic viewpoint, and that fits me as well. And yet, the second noble truth, there's a cause, there's a reason for that, and then the third noble truth, and something can be done about it. And so I think that optimism fuels me to a certain extent, although I also can look at the world and be pessimistic, but also maybe realistic in a way and see, kind of see how a lot of what's going on now is due to things that have happened in the past leading up to it, the causes and conditions. And also this possibility for change, right? Possibility for healing. That comes from Buddhism for sure. Be realistic about things. Don't get too pessimistic, but also don't give in to worst case scenario or, that the thought that change isn't possible. And so the skeptic part, that definitely goes back. I think I got that from my dad. And my father, he's white Anglo-Saxon from New England for generations. And he always had that kind of utilitarian, pragmatic kind of attitude. And I think also skeptical, always skeptical, right? Not cynical necessarily. Cynical strikes me as more negative, whereas skeptical means you don't just accept what you see before you. You ask questions, right? If someone says it's like this, you don't necessarily accept that 100%. You want to look into it yourself. But I think that Buddhism reinforces that as well. Right? That if something seems obvious, that's when the warning flags should be going off, is the way or warning bells, right? Is the way I kind of see it. If you assume something and you assume that's when you've slipped, and you've slipped into your karmic propensities, or you slipped into accepting your own biases, right? And that Buddhism, I think, wants us to be aware of those and bracket those, question those. One of my favorite bumper stickers that I don't think I've seen in a while is question reality. What is reality, right? Do you think you see it? Or might there be other ways of looking at it? And I think that's a very Buddhist way of looking at the world. Now, the neat thing about Buddhism is I think it's willing to question itself too. So like last time I talked about emptiness and, this teaching that, all things are empty, but then you could cling to that too. So there's even an expression that even emptiness is empty. Don't think that you've reached the end, right? Don't think that you've attained the final truth, because even that truth itself is empty. So this, this kind of skeptical analysis, I think can be seen as part of Buddhism, and as a part of Buddhism that I really like and that resonates with me. And so that maybe is something that is, goes along with the skepticism of my youth that I inherited from my dad. And I think that they're positive traits, actually. Optimism, right? Don't give up. That, things may be hard, but things can change too. And then that skepticism, not to just accept things at face value, not to follow charismatic leaders that, whether they're a political leader or spiritual leader or whatever, right? To always keep room for questions, always keep room for the possibilities of other perspectives. And so that's me in a nutshell, I guess. Gyokyo, the optimistic skeptic.